Alright, ladies and gents, what's up? How we diddling? Probably doesn't help that it says 8:15 PM GMT in the doodah. Not many people would hang around for 3 hours until it actually starts, but I wanted to advertise the showtime. In hindsight, that wasn't really the smartest thing to do. But anyway, here we are again, and we are here with, well, more Rat Pack creation stuff. I'm not going to be streaming right the way through regular time today, so we're just going to be rocking the old, well, prep stream, we'll call it. A little bit chill. We've got a coffee on the go, so, you know, expect things to heat up in a few minutes. But what we're going to be doing is really showing off the speedy character creation available within the current system. And by system, I mean I'm using Foundry Virtual Tabletop, and this is just a dream for creating enemies. So we can create a bunch of different types. Yeah, we're going to make goblins, we're going to make undead, and we're probably going to make night goblins as well. So we'll have goblin pirates and goblins. I'm not ruling anything out, though. I haven't decided on what the main enemy is. Like, if the main enemy at the start seems like goblins and then the group change and do something else, it's not goblins anymore. Like, they might still be there. Will they attack Tarm? Maybe. It kind of depends. So we'll just wait and see. So we need careers open, and we need trappings open, and we need traits. So we go with traits here as well. And then we need trappings. So we've got traits, trappings, careers, and that's our sorted. So we can basically give a hand weapon to something like a zombie here. So this is our custom zombie, and there's its hand weapon. So it can swing the hand weapon like so. And there we go. So we'll have to come up with the right careers for this. But kicking things off, I've made a custom zombie. So what we're going to do is make... First, we're just going to copy the stats over. I wonder, can I drag and drop the stats here? No, I can't, but that's fine. Take me a second to do this. Now, these are basic stats, so, hey, there we go. Press the wrong button there. A little bit of copyright infringement for everyone. Agility 10, good lord, okay. 30, so these guys are hella bad, and I guess, here's the thing. So, can I remove their career? If I double click... No. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a new enemy, and we're going to call this a... what are we going to call this? Goblins would imply you do silly voices, giving it an unfair advantage. Very much so. Let's just have a look at versus an NPC sheet. So I want to look at the NPC sheet. Of course, you need to create a name. So I want to look at the NPC sheet instead of the creature sheet, just to see if this seems more appropriate. So a little hard. Yeah, I think we'll stick with creature because it just gives me better access. So we'll go zombie. We need to delete these. Delete you. I don't want zombies to be too good though, right? Zombie will be a creature. Or should we just edit the existing zombie? I mean, that's not a bad idea. Like, why not? Let's just duplicate this, and we'll call it, just so I can find it more easily, a Tarm zombie. Obviously, that name is not going to stick. That's not the official name. So that's what it's got thus far. It's got bite, disease, festering wound. Let's look at the optional things here that it can have. Armored, construct. Construct is pretty cool. It basically means that it doesn't have a lot of further stats, but it can effectively gradually dissolve over time, if you wish, and all of its attacks are magical. Oh no, I'm thinking of something else. Never mind. Corruption minor. I would say it does have corruption minor. I'd say it's also distracting, because it's going to have flies and spawn and all sorts over it. Infestation. So, penalty of 10 to hit it in melee, so parasites overwhelm you, and also all living targets within a number of yards equal to its toughness bonus suffer a penalty of -20 to all tests. No, it's not good enough for that. That's too good. That's far too good. Hey, Spanish guy, how's it going? Catching up season 1 of the Rat Pack. Really fun so far. DM here using Foundry as well, so you chime in with some tips if need be. You're guessing this is 3.4.1. Yeah, it's the latest patch. Yeah, I'm glad you like it. What episode are you on and what's your highlights? Territorial, no. Undead, we'll stick with unstable because I think that's a cool rule. We have weapon 5, so if we just roll that here, I just want to make sure it's actually showing up as causing damage. No. So what we have to do here is we double click this, we go to the details, and we have to do does damage. Otherwise it doesn't work. So if you're using this feature, it's always best to give it a weapon. See, now it says damage, now you can actually do an opposed test. But what we'll do is just basically give it a hand weapon. Makes life a lot easier. It's melee basic, it's damage 7. We'll put it down to damage 5 because it's basically going to be swinging pretty poorly. Now the question is that going to be the basic stats for our zombie? It seems to have been edited slightly. I'm not sure quite how. It's got some extra stats in here, but I'm okay with that. Some extra strength, toughness. The weapon skill is absolutely awful, but there should be loads of them. So, oh, you're on episode 4, right? Yeah, things have barely got started. Yeah, distracting and infestation is absolutely horrible. I'd probably give that to a chaos spawn. In fact, I would give that to a chaos spawn, and yes, that would be absolutely horrible. That was a terrible combination. I think actually for a zombie, I'm not going to really make it much more creative than this. But what I might do is create a Tarm zombie variant. So diseased. So the last one was diseased. So obviously, well, this. Should we have bloaters? And should we have armored? Yeah, let's not go for that. Let's go for armored instead. So we'll do this one as like a slightly better version. Like it's still going to be bad, realistically. That seems fine. And what we'll do is just give it armor, and we'll give it armor 2. Armor 2 all over, so it's basically got a mixture of chain and leather all over its body. That seems pretty cool to me. So we've got a regular zombie and an armored zombie. Nice and simple. Good place to start. Now, what we can do is, if I just want to have a look at my token images, just for kind of ideas here, we go over to user data. Oh, get out of it. We can get some ideas, because I've got loads of blooming tokens here. I've got harpies. Did I actually move all of my undead ones? I did. I put them in another folder to hide them. So we're just going to basically start creating more variants of undead. That's fine. Let's go with a skeleton now. We can have a lot more fun with a skeleton. Well, basically anything from the Total War Warhammer 2 roster we're going to do. What's up, Jacob? You have no idea what you're watching and how you got here. Oh no, where did you come from, Jacob? Let's retrace your steps. So we're going to go skeleton, we're going to duplicate that, and we're going to turn it into a Tarm skeleton. This is just so I can stick them all in a folder later. Tarm skeleton. There we go. So it's got a shield and a hand weapon. That's nice. Let's look at the optional stats. It's got better stats as is. I'm going to start with basic ones. Let's have a look at this. Oh, I'm just going to... Coffee. So we're making some enemies, effectively. Troll zombies confirmed. Hey, Babu, what's up? Might steal some information. Good. I'm starting simple, and then we're going to work up to the more elite. We'll work up to Graveguard, etc. Infected? Nah. Painless? So what does Painless give them? Yes. I like this. So it can effectively carry on fighting if things, unless you amputate body parts. That's pretty rough. And we're going to actually stick some armor on the skeleton too, because, you know, because reasons. Armor 2, sure. These are armored skeletons. Weapon 7, sure. What's its current weapon? That's turned off, so we can have hand weapon. There we go. I'll tell you what we can do, actually. We can go back to our Tarm zombie, and we can just so I don't use this, we'll turn off weapon 5. There we go. Just so I'm not tempted to roll that. You can, of course, do the bite attack, though, which is kind of cool. And we'll do the same for the armoured. Yeah, we'll do the same for the armoured. One hand weapon. Nothing too spicy there, but a nice simple basic skeleton. Now, what I think we'll do is we'll go for a skeleton spearman as well. So we'll take Tarm skeleton, we'll duplicate that, and we'll load that one up, and we'll give you a spear instead. So we'll get rid of the hand weapon. Now let's actually bring up a Total War Warhammer 2 Undead roster, because I want to make sure I get all of the units in question here. So I've got Manfred. I need to actually start at the bottom because I do not want to start by making big scary vampires. I want to start with the easy stuff and then work our way up. Skeleton Spearman, basic Spearman. All right, that's cool. Elite trait is fairly good at making basic enemies a bit more dangerous. Yes, Spanish, we definitely make use of the elite and big traits in our campaign. But hang in there. I just said Warhammer, and you're a Warhammer 40k fan. Okay, so we're in Warhammer Fantasy at the moment. But it's still cool. So we're going to delete the shield here. And the hand weapon. And we're going to go for a spear. So that's going to give him some extra crit chance. Plate, breastplate, and open plate helm. I mean, that's a nice one. So we'll go with ugly, shoddy plate open helm for a start. So that is 0, and that is now worth 10. This is just so my players don't get excited, because otherwise they're just going to hoard everything. Ugly, shoddy plate breastplate, which takes that down to 2.5. There we go. That's a bit better. Ugly, shoddy, and ugly, shoddy spear. Ugly, shoddy spear. There we go. I mean, of course they're ugly, shoddy spears, ugly shoddies. I haven't put it in all of the stats. I want to put it in the name so it's more obvious. So this is Tarm Skeleton Spearman. There you go. Spearman, nice and simple. What we want to do is just have some skills. You have to have a point in melee polearm to actually gain the quality of it. So unless I give him a point in that, they will never do crits to my players. And if they're not doing crits to players, there's no point in having them. So we'll put polearm here. Melee polearm, there we go. Poink. And now it has impale. There you go. You see that happen. So we'll just put 5 points in here. There you go. We'll boost that up there. I'm actually going to... we're going to keep this skeleton as is for now. I like the fact it's randomized the stats a little bit. I like this. Dex is way too high. That is ridiculous. What's the standard dex? Yeah, that should be more like 25. Agility 20. Yeah, that's fine. Toughness 38. Strength 38. I mean, that's fine. Weapon skill 35. We'll call it 30. I don't want these guys to be too bulky, because if they fight them, they're going to be fighting them in numbers. So we are using Foundry, so I'll give you a little bit more of a tour in a moment. But oh god, let's make ghouls. Okay, let's make a ghoul. So we'll start with the basic Crypt ghoul stats, and then what we'll do is we'll just create an actor. No, I'll tell you what, we'll just duplicate the Crypt ghoul, bring it down here, load you up, and we'll go for Crypt ghoul, Tarm ghoul. I'm just calling them all Tarm something, because then I can find them all when I do a search, and it makes it easier, and then I can put them all in a folder when I'm done. So these are the basic stats. As you can see, that's kind of it's all right. I'm going to make this guy a little bit more spicy. So firstly, we're just going to get rid of weapon. I think I will go for venom, because I think I won't keep painless, because I like the idea of these being sort of horribly, hideously mutated people. Obviously by mutated, they've been cannibals for a while, and you know, that's I think maybe Trapper. Trapper might suit them. Let's just load up the career of Trapper and see if that's going to work. So, Law Beast, Outdoor Survival, Perception, Range, Sling. Ghouls with slings. Ugh, that's crazy. Yeah, shoddy mostly means, damn, this looks like it came out of a sewage. Yeah. Well, ugly and fine are opposing sides of the same coin. Shoddy is that it's going to break pretty easily. So that's cool. Skeletons are usually not armed unless a necromancer or vampire has given them stuff. I'll assume they died with stuff on them. The ugly quality just makes it less appealing mechanically. It does little else other than make you look shoddy individually. Yeah, exactly. It's basically to detract from the worth of the items. So I don't think I'm actually going to go for Trapper for this, but let's have a little look, because ghouls I don't want to be just basic bitch rubbish enemies. So let's see what other... Scout, maybe? Let's see if I made them a scout. What rank of scout? No, I want weapon skill. Something weapon skill based that would also be sneaky. An agitator, maybe. That might work. So these are all of our careers we can go through. And we can try and pick one that would look appropriate for them. Fanatic, perhaps? Obviously, not all of the stats are going to be appropriate, but... Trapper, Treasure Hunter, Troll Slayer. I mean, you could maybe make the argument for that. Tracker we've already looked at, so yeah, Tracker's just not relevant. I want to give it a career because it's basically a easy way to give stats. Some of them are easier than others, so I could give it Soldier, but that's not quite what we're after. I think Gravedigger may be actually the most appropriate for it. Let's have a think. River Pirate, now that is a cool one. That is a cool career. But we're not going to get one of those for now. Prowler, there we go. That could be good. So that is a thief. Gets initiative, agility, and willpower. That would just make it a little bit more dodgy, but it would make it sneaky. Rat catcher. Yeah, I think grave robber would be... I think that would be the most appropriate, because what are they going to do? Well, they're going to eat dead people mainly, so... It's going to be strength, initiative, willpower, and weapon skill at level 2. We're just going to give it level 2. Ah, can you not give careers? Aha! He's just accepted the career into his life. Strength 50 now. Okay, so all of a sudden that got scary. Weapon skill 40. Melee basic will take him up to 50. All of a sudden the ghoul is quite scary. Okay, Pit Legend. There we go. I think Grave Robber's fine. It seems appropriate to me. Obviously, we don't want them to have drive. That's just dumb. So we can kind of delete that. You can't actually remove individual skills from this, but it's fine. This is just kind of... This is just a thing. So that looks about right to me. And then we want to go trappings and give it a hand weapon. Actually, we might give it an improvised weapon. Maybe. It might. Maybe that would just make the strength boost kind of pointless. So I think we'll go with a hand weapon. Right, so there you go. That's going to be pretty scary. Challenging fight, yeah, it's rolling on a base of 50, which is similar to a lot of the players. It's not particularly tough, with a toughness of 30, and has no armour, but is quite stealthy. Good perception. Evaluate, Gossip, and Haggle are obviously there. Unfortunately, the way this works is once you've given the skills via the career, you can't get rid of them. So... yeah, you can roll an improvised weapon just by clicking this. It's just I like to have the visual here just because it's more of a... I just find it draws the eyes a little bit more, so it's easier to be sort of attracted to. Poison attacks. I've given them venom on their attacks. So basically, creatures are poisoned or envenomed, which causes wounds on its opponent, and they go into poison condition. So if no difficulties marked to resist the venom, it is assumed to be challenging. There we go. And that's basically you lose one wound per round, and you suffer a -10 penalty to all tests. So that's pretty reasonable. It is a little bit of a shame about not being able to... Oh. Do I just delete the ones I don't want here? Gossip? Yeah, not relevant. Do they then get deleted off of here? Oh, they do, God, thank God. Okay, so then we just delete the ones that we're never going to use. Law medicine? No. No, they don't heal you. Don't be silly. They eat you. Bribery? Not relevant. Intuition, perception? Would they use intuition? Maybe, if you try to deal with them. Sighard might do that, so we need to be prepared. Right, there we go. And somehow they still have haggle. Right. There you go. I want to make this nice and simple. There we go. Now, are there any other traits we could give them? Animosity? Maybe you could give them bestial, but it makes them too skittish in my mind. Crypt ghouls are large creatures, right? That's a crypt horror, JD. Very similar, just larger. So that's Tarm Ghoul number 1. So what we'll do is we'll duplicate this and we'll just make a ghoul variant. So Tarm Ghoul number 2. And maybe instead of a hand weapon, we'll give it a two-handed weapon. So trappings will go for a hammer? Cavalry, a warhammer? No, I think we'll call it a pick. We'll go for a pick, which is that the two-handed version? Yep, two-handed, damaging impale. Like, don't get me wrong, that's going to be horrible if you get hit with it. That's going to hurt like hell if you get hit by it. So we're going to need to give him now melee two-hand. And we'll give him 5. Slightly less effective than the other. We'll keep the melee basic. There you go, damaging and impale, but slow. Jacob, what's up, buddy? How do you make your animated tokens? I make them all in Total War Warhammer 2. So all of these cool little tokens that I've got, and of which I've got many. I'm going to make just another ghoul. I might go for a two-handed hammer as well. Yeah, we're going to go instead of a pick. We're going to go for hammer. Warhammer? Yeah, there we go. It's effectively a large club. There we go. That is horrible, but I like it. Their weapons tend to be made of wood and bone. Yeah, all of their weapons should be shoddy. That's absolutely true. You know what? It is actually worth changing the name of these things, because otherwise, you know, the players are going to try and loot them. And be like, but you said it had a hand weapon. Club. No, wait. Spiked club? 1 penny. There you go. It's a ghoul weapon. What do you expect? Trapping, it is going to be a two-handed spiked club. Two-handed spiked club. And that will be a 2 penny item. And Tarm Ghoul number 3, two-handed club. We're a simple folk. We're a simple folk, but two-handed club. That's not worth that. That is worth 2 pennies. There we go. There's a bunch of enemies made. Have to get to work? Oh, or you get fired. Fair enough, Jacob. You're trying to look up the stream tomorrow and learn it all. Feel free to check out the campaign. You'll see it all in action. It will make so much more sense. Oh. You've been using the WoW model viewer. You were hoping for something more like what I have. Okay. You want the green screen mod for Total War Warhammer 2. Basically, I've done a video on making animated tokens. Watch that. That's why I made the video, because so many people asked. So, skills, trappings, there we go. So we've made that. That's the ghoul made. Is there another ghoul unit that I can look at for inspiration? I think there's probably some mercenary ghouls, isn't there? There's a crypt horror. We're going to make a crypt horror. Okay, well, what we'll do is duplicate you and crypt horror. Tarm crypt horror. There we go. Tarm crypt horror is going to be traits will be large. No, it is listed under size. Apologies. Size. And we go to details and we change this to large. There we go. It is now large and its weapon will not be 6. Its weapon will be much better than that. And we are going to give this a slightly different career of maybe flagellant. Let's see what a flagellant would get. Okay, zealot, flagellant, level 2, hatred, something, flagellant, implacable, hardy. Hardy's okay, cool's okay, language, no, a lot of this is just pointless. Nope, okay. I don't like that. You just want some sort of melee, a pit fighter. Should we just have a look at pit fighter? That's going to have ambidextrous combat reflexes, dual wielder. That's okay. Iron jaw, infighter, dirty fighting. Something a little bit more just like damaging. It would have terror. Yeah, I think terror for a crypt ghoul is sensible. I think it is because of what the fuck it is. Dire wolves will come, don't worry. We need to make Vargeists, Vargulfs, Terrorgeists, and a whole bunch of other stuff. Yeah, we've got a lot of stuff we need to make. Crypt ghoul, crypt ghoul, crypt ghoul. So I don't think pit champion. What I'd need is maybe Slayer. Maybe Troll Slayer in terms of stats. So dual wielder, fearless, everything, frenzy. Yeah, that seems about right. And Slayer. I mean, it doesn't need the Slayer talent, but maybe Giant Slayer. Let's have a look. Melee two-handed. Yeah, that way it could use each. It could have hardy, reversal. It's a little too good in combat, though. I'd be tempted to just do warrior. What's up, Loz? If you want players to suffer, you think there's a crypt ghoul with a paralyzing venom in Death on the Reich. Oh, no. Oh, no. That sounds like a great idea. Right, we're just going to check for... what else could we go for? Hustler, Informer, Initiate, Inquisitor, Knight, Judge, Lawyer. You know what? I think... What does Grave Robber get at rank 3? Dexterity. Okay, that's not quite what I'm after. So how about Soldier? I mean, it's probably a little too formal for it, but Drilled, Etiquette, Rapid Reload, Shieldsman. I think I'm leaning towards Slayer here. Or Pit Fighter. Slayer or Pit Fighter, I think. I think Slayer makes sense. So we'll go for a rank 2 Slayer, I think. Check it. There you go. And it's suddenly got a lot better. Yeah, that looks good. Two-handed, 60 melee. Yep, okay, cool. That seems about right. So consume alcohol, not going to be relevant. Gamble, not going to be relevant. Intimidate, relevant. Outdoor survival, perception, maybe. Entertain story, relevant. Definitely not relevant. Evaluate, no. Heal, it will not heal. Language battle. Here's a question. Do they have regenerate? Crypt horrors don't regenerate, do they? Can anyone that's a Total War player tell me if a crypt horror regenerates? I don't think they do. Melee basic, range thrown. Right, there we go. So that's the basic stats for this. It's large. It's got 32 wounds, therefore. Talents will go for hardy. Doink. 40 wounds. There we go. Don't believe they do. No. They're just mutated humans. Yes, they do. Hang on, we have a yes they do or no they don't. Let's click on Crypt Horrors to read their description. Crypt Horrors are the only scene in open times. I tell you what we'll do. La da dee, la da, copy pasta, copy pasta, copy pasta, copy pasta. Right, there we go. There's your copy pasta for today. Clear formatting, please. And yoink. Save. Crypt horrors are only seen openly in times of war, where they are primarily used as shock troops of ambitious Strigoi ghoul kings. Crypt horrors are counted among the lowliest of all vampire servants. After all, they lack even the common decency to be properly dead. Okay, anyway, let's have a look for regeneration. You're on the wiki. Okay, so they do have regenerate. Yeah, sure. That's going to be absolutely horrible to kill. Night vision, hardy, infected, trapping, hand, weapon. There we go. That's what copy pasta means. Exactly, copy pasta. Comes with sauce. Saucy sauce. Right. Horrors do. Yeah. Well, if a crypt horror has regenerate, then that is a scary ass horrible thing to fight. And it has furious assault, which means once per round, if you hit an opponent in close combat, you immediately gain to spend an advantage or your move to make an extra attack, assuming you have move remaining. That's not relevant because... Can I get rid of that? Because I just don't need it. Because it's got large, so it's like, yeah, that's overkill, buddy. Ambidextrous, yeah, robust. What does that do? Oh my god, it's got robust. I mean, feck it, that's fine. Like all undead, burn it. Yeah, crypt horrors are way, way beyond humanity. Right, okay, that's a crypt horror, and of course, it will have terror. Yeah, we'll give it terror, and that will be terror rating 1. Just terror 1 for this, because it's not that big. Take robust away. Oh no, take robust away. Robust ain't that bad. It's basically armor 1. So you reduce all incoming damage by an extra 1 per time you've taken the talent. It's bugged. It literally reduces by damage by 10 instead of 1. Oh no! Toughness bonus, skill type, force. I can't take it away. It's stuck on there. So I'll speak with Mooman about that. Mooman's probably here. He'll be here soon. It's fine. So and they're not going to be fighting a crypt horror right this second. It reduces it to 1 specifically. Really? You can change the script. You can click delete and it'll get removed. Oh, okay. Well, let's have a look. Where can I click delete? Because there's no tab here for it, so I've got to go here, I guess. So let's go. If we go Furious Assault, details, post to chat, configure sheet. No, because I've tried finding this before, but I'm clearly being a bit of a potato here in terms of where the delete is. Because you don't have the tab for them unless... Are they here? Effects? Hover over it. Oh. I'm hovering. Oh, hover over it and click the delete key. Okay, well, in my defense... I was never going to figure that out, but thank you very much, Boo Man. That's really helpful, actually, because that will speed things up a lot. I would never have figured that out, but that's why you should always watch tutorials and read the instructions, guys, and don't blame me. Don't blame me. No, seriously, blame me. Blame me. Yeah, we'll get rid of robust, just because I don't... We're just going to get rid of that. If you use advantage when disengaged, you may keep a number of advantage equal to a level of relentless. I mean, it's large anyway, so it's not relevant, and that's not relevant too. You know what? Let's give it some other talents. I want to give it something, so... But yes, you should read instructions, guys. If you want to call you, you can show you how to fix robust. Nah, it's fine, man. I'm not in a rush. It's cool. I'll make do. I'm not in a massive rush to use it. So let's see. What are we going to give this guy that's going to make him cool? Do we need talents, really? Should we go for something else? Dirty fighting, disarm, distract, doom, dual wielder. What else could we give him? Flagellant. What does that do? Frenzy. Frenzy would be terrifying. Do these guys typically get that? Should we just give him hardy? There you go. We'll give him hardy. So he is going to be a bugger to take down. Lord Geology. Give him that, and we'll give him mimic, nimble fingered, noble blood. Resolute, reversal. No, I need something a little bit more standard combat. Sniper. Stout-hearted strider, strike to injure. Strong-minded. Yeah, Frenzy with 35 willpower is balanced enough. It's fair, but it's also got regenerate. Mighty Blow, yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense, yeah. I think 2 talents is enough. And he's going to hit like a truck. Hunger, yes, that's really cool. Yeah, hunger creature trait. Hungry. So that's basically... The creature is always hungry for fresh meat. If it kills or incapacitates a living opponent, or encounters a fresh body, it must pass a willpower test or feast, losing its next action and move. That I like. I really like that. Yeah, he should have Venomous anyway. Venomous should be... Oh, he's not got Venom. I hadn't turned it on yet. I am Potato. Yeah, we'll just go with challenging. I mean, that's really rough, but yeah, it's also awesome, so that's cool. Night vision infected, hungry. He's also infected. Should we turn off infected? Yeah, we'll leave that on. Hungry, hardy, bite. I like it. Right, this crypt horror is horrible. Nice. Okay. Throw the distraction halfling to win against crypt ghouls. Yeah, exactly. Here's the thing, though, with the hungry talent. Like, if you slay one of its another crypt thing, if it kills or incapacitates a living opponent, fine. So if you kill one of its allies, it's not going to be like, excuse me, I need to eat my former compatriot. Fine. That's fine. Right, what are we making next? So we've made the crypt horrors. We need to go back to the vampire unit roster. I want to go for Graveguard? Nah. Black Knight. Oh my god, should we go for Black Knights? That would be absolutely horrible of me. That would be absolutely horrible. Right, what else do we have? We've got loads of units. So we've got a Banshee. We could do a Banshee. We could do a Wight. Oh, let's do a Wight. Yeah, I didn't think there was a Wight. So let's start with a skeleton. We'll duplicate you. Put that down here. So we'll go with a Tarm Wight. A hand weapon and shield. Okay, so we'll go with... I may need some cannon on that. Can cause fear. Okay. Encourage. Provides leadership bonus to nearby allies. Can hide an undead, and it's undead. White King plus nightmares. Yeah. Zombie, dwarfs, and orcs. Confirmed. I don't have tokens for that, but I would love to. Tarm Wight. Okay. So Tarm Wight is going to be scary as hell because it's going to start off like this and it will have Soldier. I think Soldier makes the most sense. So we're going to start off here and we're going to go with weapon skill, toughness, willpower. I mean, Soldier makes the most sense unless it's Knight. So Wights, as far as I understand, are fallen heroes. Let's look at Wight King. Wight Kings are incredibly powerful undead, almost as hardy to destroy as vampires. Fused with dark magic, a Wight King's weapons shimmer with baleful energy. The merest touch of their spear tip or blade can drain the life from their foes, or slice through flesh and bone with ease. Okay. Wight King to carry forth the undead general's personal banner, such as a duty. Okay, armor and shielded. Okay, that's fine. So it's going to be heavily armored, but that's fine. We can basically just kit him out with all sorts of bells and whistles here. But I want to get the career down first. So I think soldier is probably the most appropriate thing, but we might go for... No, I think I want it to be a foot soldier, so it could be a guard even. A guard might be appropriate, because that's weapon skill, toughness, strength, agility. I think that seems a little bit more appropriate to what I want. Let's just have a look as well at soldier. Soldier is... Yeah, it doesn't gain strength, but I'll gain willpower, so... How much willpower do you need when you're already dead, you know? Yeah, we'll go for guard. And I think what we'll do is we'll go for a guard officer. Honor guard. Doink. There we go. That'll do. Oh, sexy time. So let's do this. Another two-handed perception, range bow. Yeah, we don't need that. Endurance, entertain storytelling. We don't need that. Consume alcohol. You're way beyond that, buddy. We don't need to make call checks because you're already dead. Gamble. We don't need that. We don't need gossip. We don't need heal. Law etiquette. Language battle you could maybe use, but no. That'll do. So, unshakable we can go with. Stout-hearted. No matter how bad things get, you always seem to come back for more. You may attempt a cool test to remove a broken condition. Oh, you're dead, mate. You don't need that. You may perform a challenging athletics test to immediately regain your feet whenever you gain a prone condition. Mrs. Athletics test. That's really, really good. Creative, what's up? Creative, I tend to do most of my prep at the beginning of the campaign, and this is basically the prep I do. A mixture of stuff to generate ideas. So I've done like 5 streams now of prep for the next season. I need to spend a bit of time going over the map of Tarm just to make it look a little bit better. But aside from that and allocating the names of the nobles, which I also haven't done, that's basically all the prep I'm going to do. The first session that we ran within the campaign, a lot of the world hadn't really been created. And it's like, well, there's enough for the players to pad out 3 hours and keep themselves busy. So let them do 3 hours and then basically make more as they go. So I've changed my mindset recently a lot, in fact, almost flipped completely, that I don't think you should have a full understanding of your own sandbox when you start, but you should have a knowledge of the rules of your sandbox. Does that make sense? So you know the setting it's in, and you know the atmosphere you want to create, so you have the vibe in your head. But I don't think you need to know everyone's cousin, their auntie, their uncle, who's in bed with who, because after the players go knocking down one direction, I think it's more interesting to create more things in that direction, or things that seem like they'll be of interest to the players that seem like they've been there the whole time. So I don't like to sort of break this wall too much as a GM, because it kind of makes players be like, oh, so you didn't do that. But I don't know, if you name me 5 things that happened within the last campaign, chances are I didn't plan any of them at the start of the campaign. So everything changed constantly depending on what the players were doing, so that where they went, there would be things that would be relevant to what the players were doing, if that makes sense. Hopefully it does. But so we've got Tarm Wight, athletics polearm, melee basic. I think we'll have two different types of... We'll have one with melee basic and one with a polearm. One with a halberd, maybe. Yeah, that would be scary. So... perception... But before a session, like the last session, I probably spent about 25 hours prepping because I had so many tokens to make. I was trying to make all the maps look good. I created all of the maps myself for the session. So the average session, if I'm making one map, is probably 2 hours of prep, give or take. If I'm making multiple maps, it basically depends more on the map. Map creation is my campaign prep. In a lot of the sense. So when I make a map, like when I've made this map here in the background, my political map, that's basically, that's my prep. Really. That's most of it, in fact. Doesn't look like it, but I've got ideas in my head as well that I never commit to writing. Like, I wonder what the Rivigets are interested in. What are they up to? Yeah, I've got an idea for that. I wonder what these people are into. I've got ideas for most things. I think, though, it's great if you can give the impression that things have been planned the whole time, because it makes you look clever. And it also means that it seems like things come together over time, which I love both of that. Right, so I'm sorry if there was anyone in Twitch that I've missed, by the way. Alright, shield, defensive, undamaging. So what we'll need is career traits, painless. All non-amputation are ignored. There we go. I mean, it's already painless. Fear 2, yeah, this should be Fear 2, really. Dark vision, sure. Construct, yeah, that's fine too. Trappings. Right, okay, so we're going to have male coat, male shorts, and a male coif. There we go. Trappings. Hey, there we go. So it's just about able to hang in there. And it's got a ridiculous amount of resistance. 5, 9, 11 resistance. Absolutely nuts. That thing is going to be really hard to kill. I love it. I love it. That's cool. So that will be basically a champion, effectively. And we can have 2 variants. So we can duplicate. And our second one... Actually, let me just make sure it's got... skills, there we go. Parry, melee parry, there we go. Melee parry, skills. I mean, it just makes sense for it to have melee parry, so that's fine. It's going to be rolling on 65. That's also fine. The shield will be in the offhand. Actually, the copy of it won't have a shield, so what we're going to do is go over here, delete that, and we'll go for a halberd. There you go. And now he's max encumbrance. It's a tank. Absolutely, it's a tank. But it's also a tank that can chop you really badly. And it will, obviously, it being undead, it will... how do undead get the prone condition? Like, I assume when you knock them down that they... It ignores crit effects, but I assume undead will just keep getting up. If it gains a prone condition, it will get up. I'm not actually sure how that works. Let's have a look. See if it's in the undead rules. It's reliant on the usual, unstable, painless. But painless means that it doesn't suffer penalties from critical wounds. Conditions, however, are suffered as normal. Is it Die Hard where it's... it gets back up. All critical wounds not resulting in death can be healed. Yeah, it's going to have Die Hard. There you go. I mean, it makes sense to me. I kind of feel like the whole thing with zombies is that I guess when they're on the ground you can coup de grace them. That's kind of what they're getting at. But it will get up again. So it probably is... Let's have a look, actually. Endurance tests required by an SL of 6 at the start of every round for toughness bonus rounds after death. Yeah. Okay. So I'm actually thinking that... I wonder why the undead don't have that. Yeah, Combat Master is very good. No, you're right. I think because I've made him quite good, I will probably not want to... Yeah, sod it. Makes it better. It makes it harder for him to be outnumbered. When you're outnumbered, you count as one more person, so you can outnumber him, but he's going to be a really hard... Like, I'm tempted not to give him Combat Master. I'm going to reserve that for something else, because he's going to be super tanky and resilient. I think it's... I think that's a step too much. I'm gonna save Combat Master for like a vampire, etc., and probably someone that clearly doesn't need it, I know. But speaking of that, if we go here and back to guard and the Wight, what I would like to do is go back to the zombie, because I think the zombies should have Die Hard. So that basically means when you put a zombie on the floor, it's going to get up again. Like, it is going to get up again, and you're going to have to spend another turn doing a coup de grace. So what I really like the idea of is you could go through doing a death blow scenario where your players kill one in one hit and then hit another, then another, then another, and it's awesome. But then you realise none of them stay dead, and you can't coup de grace more than one. I mean, that's kind of like technically the next player could then go through and kill the ones on the floor in a death blow flurry. I would probably say a coup de grace is not the same thing as swinging in combat, and one of them can be killed per turn. Maybe. But I think it would have to, if I look up Die Hard again... I think it would have to, if death occurs and all body parts are in place, it may attempt... No. What I would like is a test... What about jump up? Talents? I think what I'm looking for is more jump up. Die Hard's not the one I'm thinking of. Okay, whenever you gain a prone condition, it's often modified by the strength behind the blow that knocked you down. That's interesting. I mean, they have no athletics though, so they're never going to get up. So that jump up's maybe not what I'm after. I would say any zombie with a prone condition can bite. And I'm going to give them jump up. I'm going to give them jump up because I think it makes sense. Die Hard, I think, also makes sense for these guys. Like, if death occurs and all body parts are in place, it may attempt a challenging endurance test. Start of every round, toughness bonus rounds after death. Yeah, okay, I'm probably not going to roll that, really, because it's just, that's more of a thing that's going to detract too much from the combat. So I think jump up is probably what I'll stick to, although I'd quite like that to be an average test so they do have a chance of actually standing up again. Yeah. What I'll do instead though is I'll just have them crawl and make an attack at -20, and obviously they're not going to be able to bite someone, but if they're already outnumbered, then maybe they will win the test with the bite if there's loads of zombies. And obviously if you're fighting against zombies, then that's fine. They'll reanimate. Right, so we've done a Wight. A Wight King, in fact. Well, no, he's just a regular Wight. Skeleton warriors, crypt ghouls, graveguard. Should we make some orcs instead? Should we make some green skins? Yeah, let's do that. Let's just switch over. Orc. Right, there's your basic orc. Duplicate orc. Basic orc here. We did make some basic orcs, but let's start again. So here's your basic orc. Let's take off the weapon. I mean, do we really need all of these? Die Hard's pretty cool. I mean, Die Hard is hilarious. Belligerent's also kind of cool. It loves to win a fight. As long as it has more advantage, it's immune to psychology. That makes sense. Armor 3, animosity green skins. So what does that mean? You harbor... Okay. You must attempt a psychology test whenever you encounter a group. If you pass, you may grumble and spit. But if you have a -20 fellowship test toward that group, should you fail, you're subject to animosity. At the end of every subsequent round, you may attempt another psychological test to bring the animosity to an end. If you do not, the effects of animosity naturally come to an end when all members of a specified group in your line of sight are utterly pacified or gone. Okay. Yeah, that's fine. I don't think we need to worry about that too much. So we're going to go with Tarm Orc. So Tarm Orc confirmed. And I'm probably going to say that these guys will be big. I mean, it looks like an orc would be big to me. And career, we would probably go with soldier. Rank 1. Let's have a look. Weapon skill, toughness, willpower. Yeah, I mean, that makes sense. An orc recruit. This will just be a basic orc boy. Okay, I mean, to be fair, that's scary enough. Dice man, we'll get rid of that. Marksman. Yeah, we'll keep all of that. Language battle, melee basic, play, drum or fife. Endurance, dodge, cool, climb, athletics. We can keep all of that. We'll get rid of language battle because the feck is he going to need that for? Belligerent. Yeah, that is fine to keep. I'm going to keep big. Like, that is a horrible enemy to fight against. Ugh. I wouldn't want to fight that. It's got a melee basic of 50. 3 of those against a group? Jesus. That's going to be really rough. Really rough. I would say belligerent orcs probably wouldn't be scared of black powder. I'm just going to say that now before it becomes an issue. Trappings, skills, trappings. Shield. And a hand weapon. There we go. You made a big un. I did make a big un. The big un is probably not as bad as this orc. Yeah, it's not. Yeah, this big un needs to be... he needs to be re-educated. So we've got Tarm Orc. We're going to change the... Now, the Tarm Orc is a scary as feck thing. I may just delete Warriorborn. 40... It's still on melee basic 45. Nah, sorry. I feel bad for deleting it. I need to be harsher, so you're not a big un. You made a big un, not a basic guy. Tarmork is boss of the River Gits. Yeah. This guy is... I mean, yeah, he's a fighty orc. He's a rank 1, but yeah, that's pretty nuts. I'm trying to let's have a look. So orc copy. Let's go here, and we'll just do a variant of orc. Green skin roster. There we go. I just want to make sure I don't. You're referring to the guy I made saying that he's a big un. I mean, yeah. Yeah, he's... I mean, he had... Did I give him big? Yeah, I did make him big. So, I mean, that strictly probably not necessary. So, I might have a couple variants of big orcs and small orcs. It's fair enough, but, like, I don't know. Orcs are kind of big, aren't they? Like, what's the difference of removing big is... Oh, none. That can't be right. Ah, there we go. Yeah, I can see the argument for removing big because, yeah, I mean, it is big though. It's an orc, but fair enough. It's not big for an orc, I guess. Oh, delete. Delete. Right, duplicate. Right, there we go. They are making them large is significant. Yeah, making them large. Yeah, large is like a horse, right? Yeah, large is like, this guy is huge. I'd say a big one would probably count as large. Like, it's not the same size as an ogre, but yeah, a troll is large. It's kind of like, ugh, what do you do? Like, where's the difference between a human, an orc, and a troll? I guess an orc is big, really. Feck it, orcs are big. But then would a big one be big? It would be big and elite. Oh man, you can argue this all day, so I'm not going to. What I will do though is give a different weapon to this guy. Big ones can be large. Yeah, I mean, I see no issue with them counting as that. Big ones have, well, big. Yeah, big ones should definitely at least have big. And orcs just vary in size, don't they? Like, you will have large orcs. But I guess if you have a large orc, you're probably looking at a boss rather than a regular orc. Because if it's that big, it's gonna... Like, a black orc would probably be big. No, it would definitely be big. It could be large. Where is the difference? Where does it end? Black orcs are bigger and stronger than the rest, absolutely. Right, what are we looking for here? I'm looking for... what else could you give them in terms of weapons? Do you have... I'm just looking at the actual models. So you've got orc boys with shields. I think that's pretty much it. I mean, I don't want to go for savage orcs, so... Oh, an orc arrow boy. Tarm orc arrow boy. Oh, good lord, this is going to suck. Okay, trappings. Longbow. I mean, it's going to be a massive bow, right? I'll probably lower their armor down a little bit too, just to be leathers. Hand weapon. Notes, armor. Yeah, I'll bring their armor down to 1. That seems fair, you know. Belligerent. I think the rest can stay the same. But that is going to be bow, arrow, combat, impale. Oof. Okay, skills, range, bow, doink. Hey, damaging. There you go. Make the bow shoddy. Yeah, everything orcs have will be shoddy. Same with the zombies. Every, basically all of the weapons and everything will be shoddy. I'll probably do that after I've made them, but I could do it as we go. Yeah, I don't know. I think I'm pretty happy with that though. Melee basic's still there. Oh no, we can go with 5 advancements here. So that's going to be horrible to get hit by. Like if you roll even an average test, and on a longbow you can have a great chance to hit someone. That's 15 damage there. Doing, pleh. Ouch. Range damage is horrible, so don't let orcs shoot at you, basically, because everything is going to go horribly wrong. So like the others, I'll put it in the name here because I think it's a good reminder. Shoddy, ugly, bulky, longbow. So 2, then 1, then 0, then 10 silver and 4 encumbrance. There we go. Love it. Love it. And I know you can put it in floors here. Ugly, shoddy, bulky. There we go. Canonically, they should have regular bows. I'm just saying in terms of size. I would say because I guess you can make the argument that it's strength bonus, that they should have higher strength, because a bow from a human shouldn't do the same as a bow from an orc, in my view. They're not known for their range prowess, but it's still like it's a big bow, and if they hit you, like, I think they're not known for their range prowess, but they're still a bit competent at shooting stuff. Like, Orc Arrow Boys are pretty canon. I don't know why, like, it's hard to explain why they would do it, because it's a bit more orky. I guess we could probably take away the range bow skill a little bit, or take away marksman. I tell you what we'll do, is we'll take away marksman. That seems like it balances it out a little bit better. Because that will take it down to 30. So we'll go... Oh. Looks like it's not updated yet, but there you go. I think that's... There we go. That's good. Goblins are better. I don't know. I'm just going with all of the games I've played, like board games and... board games and the actual Total War games. Like, the orcs just hit more. They've got more range. Yeah, delete the marksman effect. It should have deleted for some reason. It didn't. Yeah, that's weird. Effect. So would it be listed under here? Ah, there we go. Right. Okay, so I'm happy with an orc bow doing damaging. To me, it's fine. Like, damaging and impale, I think it's fine, because with a strength of 35, otherwise a goblin bow is going to do the same thing. Like, damaging is going to make it hella scary, but you're not going to meet many of these. I don't know. For me, it makes sense. Otherwise, I just don't think it's that scary. Right, so we've got that now. Orc Arrow Boy, Tarm Orc. Should we go for like an Orc Berserker maybe? Or let's see what else we can fit in here. I need more Orc variants. We've got an Orc Boar Boy, but... And I guess we could just create variants of Orcs. We've got Black Orcs. Got loads of different Goblin units. Loads of different Goblin units. I am aware that hitting someone with that bow will be like, ouch, oh my god. What I'm thinking, though, with an Orc Arrow Boy is it's like the scene from Lord of the Rings getting hit from Lurtz. It's just like a bow that big. If it hits you, it's going to go straight through you. That's my take on it, though. Like, the only reason it's scary is not because of the craftsmanship of the bow, just because it's a big fucking bow, because the orc's like 6'9". Savage Orc with a ward save. Yeah, I'm probably not going to go into the Savage Orc tribes. But I think they would be awesome too. I'm going to keep them in the piggy bank. Let's go for Night Goblin. Let's go for Night Goblins. So I'm going to adjust the old Night Goblin. So what do we have here? Yeah, they're... Oh God, I made them rubbish, didn't I? Melee basic 33, parry. Yeah, so let's delete this and start again. Infected, Night Vision, Stealthy, Hatred Dwarfs, Dark Vision, Cunning. Yeah, they've got so many things here. I'm half tempted to get rid of some of it, just so it's a little easier to keep a track of. But if we've got like a basic Night Goblin, career, we will probably go for Trapper. Let's have a little think about Trapper, what we would get with that. Ballistic skill, I mean, that's fine at level 2. Strength, toughness at level 1. Maybe not quite. I don't Trapper's too hardy. Scout. Oh, no, we'd want to go for, like, Prowler. Prowler at level 1, like a thief type stat line. Initiative, willpower, agility. Yeah, I can see that. So I'd say those stats to start off with are probably a bit high. So we'll just adjust that a little bit. I have made them cunning though, which I think helps them. Right, so we'll go with a slight adjustment here. 20 to fellowship. Dex 30. Agility. Base of 35. Initiative 20, toughness 30, strength 30, ballistic skill 35, weapons. Okay, that's fine. And I'll probably go with Prowler. Give them one of those. Okay, that's good. And I think what I'll do is give it melee basic. Thank you. I just got brought a beer because I've got a lovely girlfriend. You've got to say that. Ah, right, wonderful. Sorry, I'm a simp. No, she is lovely though. So what we're going to do is... that's thrown me. Melee basic. Melee basic, there we go. You know what, I'm just going to give it range bow as well, because it's just easier to do now and copy it. Day Goblin, a Ragnarok, yes, yes. Should we have some sort of pet as well? Boar, wolves, spiders? Yeah, that's a good idea, Philip. Thing is I don't have tokens of wild boars. I have squigs, and I will be making squigs. And I am aware that these enemies I'm making are really tough, but they're supposed to be. So the thing is I've got a group as well that averages a combat skill of 50. Not all of them. We have some players that aren't really combat focused, combat centric, but a lot of them are, so. Perception, stealth, urban. Okay, we'll change stealth, urban to stealth, rural. Okay, there we go. And alley cats. You may reverse the dice of any failed test. It's not alley cat. What's the one we want for sneaking around stealthy? Has a number equal to its agility bonus of the SL of all. Ah, nice. I mean, that's pretty good. That's an interesting stat line there as well. Cool 30. Okay, Isaac, what's up? You think there's a mod for wild boars in TWW2? Squigs will come. To do I use the simplified armor rules for the or piece per body? I let Foundry do it. So typically for most of them I'll put armor all over. So like the orc, I've put armor 3 everywhere, but realistically I should go back and change it to like shoddy chainmail and shoddy leather on the chest or shoddy plate on the chest and make it a little bit more creative, because Foundry's doing the rolls anyway, right? So it's like, yeah, it's fine. Yeah, it's absolutely fine. Just let that do it for you. So we've got Night Goblin here. I think that's fine. That's fine. So we'll go with Doink. Tom Night Goblin, that's fine. And Night Gob duplicate, Tom Night Goblin, Spearman. Now I think they come in the game, and I think, and I could be wrong. Get rid of the hand weapon here. Career, traits, trappings, spear. I think they have a spear and shield. which for me just counts as a long hand weapon, but we'll see. Goblin armor is too small anyways. Yeah, I've given them a small... Well, I've given them a fairly large shield, only because in relation to size of body, I feel like shield 2 is reasonable. Like, maybe you could call that a buckler, but it seems more like a shield 2 to me. Goblins, I mean, goblins aren't that small, right? Strike to stun seems like something a goblin could have as well. Like, they would knock people out. We'll get rid of criminal because that's just ridiculous. Infected? Yeah, okay, all of that seems fine. Night Goblin Spearman, Night Goblin, duplicate. So what we'll do is Night Goblin, Archer, and we'll go for trappings, short bow. What I'll probably do for the orc arrow boy is name it an orc bow, just to avoid confusion, because I can see folk being like, why do they have a longbow? That's a human thing. It'll be like, it's an orc bow that is so big that is now effectively as good as a longbow, maybe with worse range. We can adjust that. So we'll get rid of the shield here. And skills. What we'll do is we'll get rid of this. And we'll go with career The trouble is with ranger, hunter rather, is hunter gets like strength and toughness, which I don't think we need. Soldier maybe. Let's have a look. Night Goblin. So they're the more stealthy ones. I mean, let's just fucking leave it the same. Short bow. Arrow. Like, I don't want these to be that good. I want an orc to be scary. And fair enough, the orc is really scary. It's like, would you want to kill 5 orcs with a party of 5 people? No, that's a terrible idea. An orc is better at combat than a human. So that's a bad idea. Maybe they're a little overtuned, but I'm not sure, because we have so many combat specialists in the party. I honestly don't think it's that much of an issue. And those that aren't combat specialists aren't going to be wandering into a bunch of orcs with their willies out. Goblins on average shouldn't be much tougher than 30-35. Yeah, on average I'd agree, except for heroes, etc. But that seems okay to me. I think I might... Shall I put their dodge up a little bit? Or is that... I mean, the dodge is 40, so actually they're better off dodging than doing other tests. So I think that's really fine, actually. I think that's okay. Ballistic skill 33. Skill... Bow... Range bow. I will probably just give them 3 and 3. The hell just happened on my map? So there we go. We're giving them a tiny little bit of stats. There we go. So we've got those. Should we go for squig? Squig, cave squig, small squig, duplicate. Let's make it a Tom squig. Tom squig. And this is just to save me time at a later date. I'll still have to make the tokens, etc. But so this is a small squig. Obviously, we'll adjust the stats. Like, even the small squig has 40 weapon skill. Its weapon is 5. I think we can turn that down to... I mean, it's good at biting people because that's what it does. It's like, is a snake good at biting things? Yes, because that's what it's there for in life. That's all it wants to do is bite stuff. So that's okay. I accept that. What we'll have to do is just double check that this actually works and applies damage, but it doesn't. So what we do is we right click this, we go details, click deals damage. There we go. And that seems pretty good. Right, see you around, Danny. Right, that seems okay. It's got bounce, so doubles its movement characteristic and can ignore intervening terrain. That's just hilarious. Night vision, size small, size enormous. No, it doesn't have size enormous. There we go. Right, so that's a small squig. Tarm. Small squig. Okay, so that's like a handbag squig. So what we'll then do is we'll do a regular squig. So this will be size small, size regular. And now it has 8 wounds. There we go. And toughness, not so much. What's a regular cave squig got? 50. You know what? I don't think you need to adjust the stats of this that much. That seems just fine to me, although they've given it weapon 9. Jesus. Right. I mean, it is a squig. Sure. I mean, it's a squig, right? Tom. Regular squig. I don't think I would change their stats that much, actually. I think that's fine. Hey, squigs are tough motherfuckers. Like, yeah, squigs are no joke. Squigs are no joke. I have made, you'll be happy, Yoris, I have made tougher enemies. Like, my orc brawler is probably too tough. So if we just bring up my regular Tarm, if we bring up our Tarm Orc as an example, that's what we're rocking with a Tarm Orc. So melee basic of 50, which is 17 wounds, 3 armor. I tell you what we'll do while we're here actually is we'll just go through and change the armor so it's a little bit more creative. And this is like an orc fighter, not an orc in a village. This is an orc that's going out to fight, so it's better at fighting than an average orc, is what I'd say. Rather than a bunch of random orcs in a village, they would probably be less. But this is an orc that's been sent out to fight. Right. Chain. Nope. Plate. Combat, trappings, we'll give it a plate breastplate. Descriptions, shoddy, ugly, bulky breastplate. 10, 5, 2, it's worth 1 silver, it's scrap metal basically, because the moment a human picks it up, it will break. So at least we're giving it weak points, right? And what we'll do is we'll go details, and we'll have to go down here, weak points, shoddy, ugly, bulky. There you go. We'll give it a bit more value as scrap metal. 2 silver. There you go. Give them a bow and great weapon. Yeah, I've made orc arrow boys with long bows. I'm counting orc bows as long bows just because I want them to be like, you get hit by an orc holding a massive bow, it's going to hurt like hell, even though it's not a long bow. I'll just call it an orc bow and change the stats a little bit, but I'll keep damaging on it because lols. Thing is, Impale's not going to do that much because everyone's got so much armor. Should make him a DPS attacker. Right, let's just adjust this a second. Go back. What are we doing? Armor here. We'll do plate there. I'm not going to go with armor on the head. I'll go with plate braces. Shoddy, ugly, bulky plate braces. And that will be 3. No, that will be 0, and that will be 2 scrap metal. because the moment you pick it up, it'll be broken. Impale ignores non-metal armor. That's penetrating. That's penetrating. So impale would just increases the chance of crit, so it won't ignore armor, but it will do. It will have a 1 in 5 chance of doing 1d5 extra damage. So that's all right though. Trappings, right? Leather jerkin, leather jack. Trappings, leather jack, leather leggings. That'll do. So some areas will have less. Impel does ignore armor on crit only. Really? Let me have a read of that again. Maybe I've got this wrong, but I could have sworn that wasn't the case. Right. Let's have a little look here. Right. The impale comes from a ranged weapon the ammunition uses has firmly lodged itself in a target's body. Arrows and bolts require successfully challenging a heal test to remove. I don't see anything about ignoring armor. Impale is just a double crit chance. Maybe I'm reading this wrong, but it's just zeros instead of doubles. Yeah. Again, penetrating is what ignores armor, as far as I'm aware. If you roll crit, it ignores armor. I think we're mixing the two up here. Like penetrating. Read weak points for armor. Yeah, but only some armors have weak points. So none of my party have armor that have weak points yet. So, like, granted, but that's a whole other thing. That's a whole other thing. But yeah, anyway. Right. Oh, you cannot heal 1 for wounds for each unremoved arrow. That's hilarious. Right, okay. So we've done that. We've got trappings-wise. We don't have any trappings here. But that's all right, because this guy is basically just going to have a leather jack and leather leggings. And it will be a bulky, ugly, shoddy leather jack. I mean, is it even worth me doing this? It seems kind of like, There we go. Like, he's not going to reach encumbrance anyway, but right. Bulky, ugly, shoddy, leather jack. There we go. Orc leather armor. Yeah, I know for my orc, our guys will have an increased chance of doing more damage against them if they crit. I'm fine with that though, because it's a tough as nails opponent to beat. So I'm like, you know, if you roll a crit on it and do more, and ignore its breastplate, that's just really cool. I'm fine with that. I'm just thinking for the orc shooting our players, but oh, that reminds me. I just need to rename orc bow. There you go. I'll tell you what I will do. Is I will do range 50. 60 even. So I'm not going to have them as a massive long range. So the orcs aren't going to be amazing at shooting at long range. But to be honest, when are you going to be... Yeah, that will just kind of help make it a little bit more believable. Because orcs really aren't going to be amazing at shooting at long range, maybe compared to a human with a longbow. There'll be a big difference, but orcs are in no way squishy in Warhammer. That's true. Yeah, orcs are definitely not squish. They are bred for fighting. They're not even bred. They spawn for fighting, basically. Are there any other... Oh, let's make an orc boss. Okay, let's do it. Tarm orc, duplicate, Tarm orc copy. Right, okay, Tarm orc. Oh, we'll make it a big one. Tarmork big one. So now we can give it big. There we go. That's pretty much all it needs. But I probably will give it... It needs to now have dual wielding. So shield, delete there. Hand weapon, career trapping. Hand weapon. Like, you could probably make the argument that an orc cleaver should have the damaging trait, but I think by then I mean, is that too much? An orc hand weapon having the damaging trait? For a big un, that is, not for a regular orc, but a big un? I think I'm going to give it 2-weapon fighting, just to be... It might be a little bit too much, because it's going to hit like a truck anyway. I might just increase its strength a little bit instead, but I mean, that's certainly an option, but I could probably give it a helmet too, so an open helmet. There we go. Right, there we go. Squig leather is the best. I mean, it's great leather. It's just great leather. Everyone looks good in squig leather, right? I think I'll probably leave this as the big one. It's basically just a big orc, though. It should have 2-weapon fighting. Yeah, I'm thinking 2-weapon fighting or 1-weapon and damaging. 2-weapon fighting. Yeah. I think that's traits. Trappings, career. I wouldn't give it both because dual wielder, there we go. Dual wielder, ambidextrous? Probably not. I don't think we need an ambidextrous here, so we can roll like this. We can roll dual wielding and we can roll charging, and then so that's a +5 and a -4. Yeah, no, that's fine. That's fine. I don't think we need ambidextrous because it's still 2 chances, and you know that definitely increases the threat it would pose. So I'm going to have a little bit more armor though, because I believe the orc biggins are a little bit more armored. I'm just bringing up their image so I can see. Yeah, they've got some chain too, so traits, skills, trappings. I'll just give them some male feet as well, so they're just a little bit more armored. That's fine. Really, I could just give them that all over, but I like the fact that a couple of spots are a little bit more penetrating and a little bit easier to break through. Like, it's got 12 resilience, so it's fine. I think, though, I will probably... I'll probably just up its weapon skill a little bit. Like, I know that's ridiculous. Actually, let's stick with that. Because, like, it has to be a little bit better, right? There you go. It has to be a little bit better stat-wise, otherwise it's not really a big one. I know I gave it more toughness, but... Okay, so that's a big one. And that's scary as hell. Right, duplicate orc. Tarmork. Boss. Tarmork boss. Doink, doink, doink. Okay, so the boss is going to have traits big. Like, that's a given. Elite. Yeah, that we're looking pretty good there straight away. Like 65, 22 wounds. Tough. 25 wounds, super tough. That's probably a little bit too much on the resistance. Yep, that's a little bit too much. Doink. I think I'll stick with that. 22 wounds, but gonna be hard to kill. Brute. Which one was Brute? I just want more wounds, so... Brute is strength and toughness? Minus agility, strength and toughness. 25. Yeah, animosity. Yeah, they all have animosity greenskins. The way I would put it, though, like, animosity is an interesting rule, right? Because it's like, okay, whenever you see this person, you have to roll. It's like... so let's go here. You you harbour an enmity for a target, which will normally be a group of people or creatures, such as etc. etc. You must attempt a psychology test whenever you encounter the group. If you pass, you may grumble and spit, but only suffer a penalty of -20 to all fellowship tests. It's tricky, right? Because if you're just watching a group of orcs on patrol, would they naturally kill each other without any stimulus at all? I know the answer is technically yes, but if every time you saw an orc group going around doing that, it would be ridiculous. And maybe that's the point. Maybe that's the point, but it is a little bit of a concern in my head that, like, fair enough, if you throw a stone at one of them and they don't see you and it thinks it's the other one, they'll burst out in a brawl. I get that. Like, that's fine. But I do wonder with animosity, will they just be fighting all the damn time? Unless there is a big boss. Yes, that's fair. Yeah. At the end of every subsequent round, you may attempt another psychology test to bring the animosity to an end. If you do not, the effects of animosity naturally come to an end when all members of the specified group in your line of sight are utterly... Yeah. Yeah. It's how... Yeah, I know it's not... I know they will break into fights, but if they were fighting that often, there would be no such thing as an orc patrol, because all of them would die every time they go out patrolling. So... Yeah, like, I need to have a rule in my head for the greenskin animosity as to, like, okay, how is this going to work? Like, I might say they're focused on a task until XYZ, highly success... I know about the issues with greenskins psychology, because I used to play them on tabletop. Like, they were the only faction I ever played. So I get it. But it's probably... I think if they're on a task... Yeah, exactly. 2 patrols meet, absolutely, animosity test, no question in my mind. Especially if they're, like, 2 competing patrols, fine. And certainly if they're 2 different tribes, it's almost a given they'll just attack each other. No need to roll for animosity there. But if they're not focused on a task, or if something interrupts that task, then yes. But, I mean, that being said, they have to roll 2 tests. So one to be subject to it, and then another one... At the end of every subsequent round, you may attempt another psychology test to bring the animosity to an end. If you do not, the effects of the animosity naturally come to an end. I would probably... I would say groups of like 5 are probably not going to just kill each other on a regular basis. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. If orcs are bored and left to their own devices for more than 10 minutes, probably fine. But if they're in the woods hunting for animals, yeah, fine. Maybe if they kill an animal, then they'll do it. Then they'll fight. But yeah, okay. Yeah, 5 to 10 minutes. Yeah, that sounds about right. So the orc boss, I think, is fine. I think that's okay. I'm half tempted to not give him a shield, though, really, because I think that's... it's also just not very orky, right? So... we could probably make him large as well, but... oh... Bastard sword. No. Zweihander? Hang on, what do the orc big bosses have in this game? I know it's not going to be an actual Zweihander, but I have no issues with it causing damaging given the size of him. Achaidh, I'm trying to look for, like... What does a basic orc war boss model look like? What does it come equipped with? I think it's just a club, right? I'll have to come back to this. Does anyone remember what the orc heroes are equipped with? In terms of the armoured and shielded... Okay, they do have shields as a basic. Yeah, okay, so they do have shields. Great axe. Like, I like the idea of giving him a great axe. It just depends if the actual model in Total War has it. Because if not, then it doesn't really work. Tiring. I wonder if they could ignore the tiring trait. Let's have a look. The weapon is fatiguing to use or difficult to bring to bear. You only gain the benefit of impact or damaging on a turn you charge. Yeah. I mean, it has damaging anyway, so... It makes the great axe kind of rubbish. Yeah, I will probably say like a giant chopper that has the damaging trait. So we'll go with hand weapon. We'll go with a hand weapon and shield. Honestly, I'm not going to make it a large shield. So we'll go with damaging. Like, he's not going to be large, but he'll hit like he is large. 3 giant chopper. 0. It's maybe worth 1 silver as scrap metal. Shoddy. Bulky. Like, that makes him pretty tough. Use the Grimgore model. Yeah, the Grimgore one would do. Yeah, I think we'll just go with a giant chopper. So that's basically him just going to shred people. Absolutely shred them. 25 wounds, ridiculous weapon skill. Like, he would be horrible to fight. But the whole point is, you really don't want to fight an orc boss, because it's an orc boss. Oh dear, we're getting somewhere, aren't we, guys? We're getting somewhere. We're doing good. Right, what else are we going to do next? Oh, tick box here. I'm just looking for some other orcs we can do. Orc shaman. Feck it. Tarm orc. Duplicate. Tarm orc. Shaman. I think they have done greenskin magic, haven't they? If I remember correctly. Which supplement had greenskin magic in it? One of them does, I'm sure. Careers. Wizard? Is it a wizard really, or is it going to be more like a hedge? Let's just have a look at the hedge stats. It won't be a... It could be a seer, maybe, with petty magic. Hedge master. I'm going to do this as a semi-boss, so... Two goblin spells. Ah, there you go. Starter set. Ah, right, there you go. Only the goblin spells. Well, that's a hard life, isn't it? So maybe wizard is what we need. Although I'll have to... Arcane magic hedgecraft. Yeah, I think hedge makes a bit more sense. So we'll give him a hedge witch. To start with. Rank 2. We'll get rid of gossip. Will he know how to heal? Yeah, sure. Lore folklore? Lore herbs? Sure. Lore local? Nah, that doesn't matter to him. He's busy. Trade charms? Trade herbalist? Yeah, that'll do. You can emulate the big war. Not a ton of orc magic. Just give him dart. Yeah, problem solved. Problem solved. 17 wounds. Like, he's pretty tough. I think I might give him elite. Because he's also not going to have all of this armor. Like, that's just silly. Leather jacket and leather leggings. Sure. That will just be his cloth clothes that are probably as thick as leather anyway. 65. I don't think elite is right for him, actually. I don't think elite is right. I don't think animal affinity is right either. I don't think sixth sense is right either. So we'll get rid of all of that. We'll get rid of armor 3. Yeah, we're going to get rid of that. I might go for cunning. Big bite, blessed. No, bounce, breath, brute. No, I think I'll go for clever. He's a clever boy. Oh, Jesus. He just got a lot more scary. Yeah, we'll give him clever, because he's cunning, right? Or we could give him cunning as well. Fellowship, intelligence, and initiative. I mean, that already seems... He's a clever boy. I love it. I love it. Hardy, hatred, horns, hungry, immunity. Leader. What does leader do? Okay. Sure, we'll give it leader. That'll do. What else do we have here? I don't think anything else is needed. We just give it... We don't need to give it that, really. Language magic. That's fine. We'll have to make some spells, but that's okay. I'm pretty happy with that. So, there's our Tarm Orcs to start us off. I will say the Arrow Boy is what I'm most worried about, because all I have to do is click this motherfucker and be like, oh yeah, he stood right next to you. And then, all of a sudden... your player is... Oh, okay, well, fortunately he rolled terrible. But even if he rolls an average of 50, bearing in mind the damaging trait, that's 17 damage and a crit, which is 18 damage in total. But then again, our players have a large amount of mitigation now. Not all of them, for sure. Do you think orcs should have a high weapon skill? They're brutes, not fencers. Yeah, because they're still better at hitting you than you are at hitting them. Like, orcs are just better fighters than humans, but not by a lot. It's mainly their strength and toughness, I guess, that carries them. But they're also, like, bred for war, so I'm fine with it. I'm fine with it, honestly. So the weapon skill could be a manifestation of many things. It's not just, like, your finesse with a blade, but it's your ability to navigate your opponent while fighting them. So it's a combination of your footwork, your ability to anticipate their attacks versus your ability to attack. It's complicated, I guess, but the thing is, if they have low weapon skill, they're just easy to beat as well. Like, mechanically, the game is tricky like that. You could give them low weapon skill, but have them have insanely high damage, in which case just don't get hit. But if a group of orcs ran in and were swinging wildly, it's kind of... Orcs are clever enough to do all that. Yeah, well, orcs are single-mindedly, like, bred for war. That's their creation. That's their purpose. So I think it's pretty forgivable for them to be fairly good at swinging a chopper. And I think it also manifests in the fact it's harder to parry something that is single-mindedly trying to kill you. You know, I think there's a certain benefit to having no regard for your own personal safety that makes them harder to fight against. Yeah, the book has always put them as, you know, competent fighters. But I think it's a combination of their tenacity and such things that makes them the thing that, you know, as scary as they are. Not necessarily skill with a blade, like you'd beat one in a fencing competition, but a battlefield is not necessarily fencing, you know? So an orc might not need to parry when it can just let you hit it in the shoulder while it grabs you with its hand and bites your head off. So it's kind of, I guess its method of fighting would be crude, but it's probably also very effective. That would be my counter argument, at least. And I think that holds. I think that holds. So we've made a few greenskins. We've got loads of night goblins. We've got a few undead. I want to make a lot more undead, to be honest. What I'll do is I'll continue to do a lot of this stuff hidden off of the screen, because I don't want to make all of the enemies and have you guys knowing exactly what's coming. So I'll probably just go through and pick a bunch of units and make like a random manticore, a hydra, and a bunch of other stuff. Yeah, book starts at 35, so they're better than the average person. But the book of Warhammer Fantasy that is a basic orc. So just like a basic human has 30, a basic orc has 30. But if you fight against an orc hunter who's out hunting people, or an orc tribesman that has been in a couple of fights, he'll effectively be a soldier, so he won't be 30 anymore. That's basically the logic. The stats there are for like a baby orc and a baby human. Not physical baby, but a naked human that doesn't do anything. Anything they do makes them better at that thing. So that's what I've come to change my mind about. And yeah, exactly. Basic human soldier would have about 50 odd. Exactly. So a basic orc soldier would have about 50 to 55. Because a basic orc soldier is better than a basic human soldier. So that's basically the logic there. And the book does kind of go some way to say that, but it is also... It's quite easy to lose all of that. So these orcs have a basic melee of 50, which at least makes them competent fighters. They have reasonable cool checks, etc. So they're pretty beasty. They've got armor 3 mixed in with their existing stats, so I probably need to get rid of that. Yeah, we need to get rid of that. So, doink, because I've given them all the other bells and whistles. So, we could probably give them painless as well. If I remember, painless is... Yeah, okay. Other critical wounds, basically, they do not care. Would you give them resolve points to stand back up? So for anyone that's GM'd here, I'm curious, like if an orc goes down on the floor and you're playing the rules where they can get up again, so it has a painless stat, do you just give it an orc unlimited resolve so it can just constantly get back up again? In which case you could probably give it jump up. Or do you just say, it's dead, 0 wounds? I'm not sure. I'm not sure how to handle that. Because sometimes I like the idea of having skirmishes be to the bloody death, you know, where everyone is consistently having to swing away to hack each other to pieces. But, yeah. Cubicle 7 must know how to balance things, but it's just odd. Yeah, well, the thing is with an orc is the moment you make it any better, it's still pretty scary. I mean, it's just up to the GM, really, isn't it? To just make an enemy that is competent and make one that's a little bit on the scary side. I think, guys, I'm probably going to call it here, and I imagine I'll be back on again later for another streamo. But I just wanted to do a little bit of enemy creation. You'd use it to negate prone and stunned conditions. Yeah. It's quite hard to stun an orc, really, isn't it? Like, they have ridiculous endurance, I guess. Mind you, 55, is it that good? It's not that good. But I'd be very tempted to say, no, you can't. This orc isn't going to go prone and let you kill it. But equally, do you want to have to inflict 5 critical wounds on an orc? It is a little bit excessive, perhaps, but in either case, we've made some more tough enemies. I'm going to do... Oh, we need to do Skaven as well, so I might do Skaven later and run through all of their stats. Like, I made slaves. Yeah, I've moved the tokens, so... Like, let's look at the book. Lord of Uberstrike. Here is a gutter runner from one of the adventures. So, armour, unspecified, but 77 weapon skill. Tail attack, lovely. Champion, lovely. It is pretty damn spoopy. Right, I'm going to I'm going to pop down, guys, and spend some time with the other half, watch some Witcher, and I'll catch you all soon. There are some Skaven in the various books. Yeah, I'll dig them out, and we'll get to work. Toodle pip, ladies and gentlemen. I'll see you shortly.